bars, it does not put them out of business, just moves them to a new location. As Troy Roberts reports, in some prisons, the gangs rule.
Behind the gray walls and coils of barbed wire at Florida's Apalachee Prison, authorities are engaged in a daily tug of war over the only thing that matters behind bars: control. Younger, tougher gang members are filling prisons. Inmates like Solomon Wesley, leader of the largest gang in Apalachee, the Latin Kings. He told us rival gangs and prison authorities recognize their power.
They know to respect us, you know, not because we know big shot badass, but we know we don't take shit.
And disrespect, he says, comes with a price.
If they handle one of my brothers in the wrong manner, I'm not going to stand and tolerate it. If they come up there, maybe pushing them or something, that's when I would retaliate.
Apalachee Correctional Officer Willie Cutchin puts his life at risk every day.
I've been cut on my leg, I've been spit on, brooms broke across my head. When you get two gangs that clash together and you go in there, you know, they're after each other and you get in their way, they're going to go through you.
And as more gang members crowd the prison, Cutchin says it's getting harder to hold the line.
But who controls the prison?
The inmates control the prison.
The inmates control the prison.
They let us control it.
If I really want something, I can get about anything I want.
Drugs?
Well, I can get drugs. If I wanted drugs, I can get them.
Get a weapon?
I can get a weapon if I want a weapon.
Tattoos, nearly every gang has one, are a tip-off to authorities.
Did they have to go through the initiation?
Secret hand language is unique to each gang. When we were there, we saw inmates silently communicating to one another.
If I hit my hands one or twice left over right, I'm doing a disrespect manner. But if I take my right hand and hit it twice and go right over left, then I'm doing a respect, which means I'm just greeting them. The disrespect means there's a problem.
Harry Singletary heads the Department of Corrections. He says managing the problem is complicated by gang members infiltrating security, even landing jobs as correctional officers.
All you have to do is be 19 years of age and don't have any convictions. And there are a lot of street gang members or people associated with street gangs who meet those basic qualifications.
There have been corrections officers working here that are also members of the Kings.
Just one at this specific camp.
That must be helpful to you.
Yeah, could be.
While Florida leads the nation in tracking street gangs behind bars, there's no recent data on how widespread the problem is across the country. What we do know now is largely anecdotal. The gangs are becoming better organized and more violent and disruptive, with ties that reach far beyond the prison walls. While Florida authorities admit their gang problem caught them by surprise, gang influence here is not as organized nor widespread as in other states. Tomorrow, we'll look inside the prison system in the state of Illinois, where more than 70% of all inmates are gang members. Their influence was so great at one prison, some correctional officers claim inmates had the run of the place. In Sneads, Florida, Troy Roberts for Eye on America.
And that's
Disturbing revelations about a correction system in deep trouble. Mass murderer Richard Speck engaging in sex and using what appears to be drugs while serving time at an Illinois prison. The tape led to a state investigation and more embarrassing disclosures, this time about a system increasingly overrun by younger and more violent gang members.
It's just virtually impossible to keep a handle on them.
Pat Motzko and Kent Kripe are former corrections officers at Pontiac, a maximum security prison in Illinois. They stunned lawmakers last summer with testimony that gangs controlled the prison.
People were getting hurt, seriously hurt. The stabbings, the staff assaults.
They spoke to us, putting their jobs at risk, about prison officials who ceded much of their control to gangs, allowing inmates to assign cells and work details.
I think they do this because they think they are maintaining security. But you can only give these inmates so much and you run out of things to give them.
What they got were leisure time activities like boxing matches and banquets and picnics with friends and family members. This surveillance tape shows inmates at Pontiac providing cover for sexual relations under tables, while others perform openly in full view of children.
Why would hardened criminals be afforded picnics and banquets in the first place?
Illinois Corrections Director Odie Washington.
So we have some responsibility to try and keep families together. But unfortunately, some inmates and some family members violate the rules.
Washington's department has been under siege for more than a year, but he contends the agency has a grip on one of the nation's worst gang problems, and that disgruntled employees are overstating gang influence.
You will find employees who are disenchanted, who are disgruntled, who simply do not like the way things are happening.
I think they're disgruntled administrators more than we're disgruntled employees.
The Illinois Department of Corrections wouldn't allow us to speak with prisoners, but Florida did. Latin King gang member Solomon Wesley talked openly about gang control.
You know, I can go to an officer and say, look, I want to sleep here, I want to sleep here, sleep there, because if I don't, this inmate here is going to get it.
So you have power over the corrections officers at this facility?
Basically, if we want to, yes, sir.
If the inmates at Pontiac had that kind of control, it's now restricted. The entire population is on a permanent lockdown, confined to their cells 23 hours a day. After intense scrutiny for the better part of the year, the Corrections Department implemented a number of reforms designed to shake up the prison system. Gone are the inmate picnics and banquets at maximum security prisons. Corrections officers who have direct contact with inmates will have to submit to random drug tests. And the state established its first prison for inmates who have no gang ties.
Gate 1. It is employees who open doors. It is employees who dictate the movement of inmates. Our employees are in control of the prison system.
But severe overcrowding complicates reform efforts in prisons across the country.
They can lock every one of us up inside of a little bit of room, but there's just going to be more coming in and more coming in.
As this new breed of inmates swell prisons, they are the latest threat to an overburdened system struggling for control. In Joliet, Illinois, Troy Roberts for Eye on America.